Yeah. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. Yeah.
Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Wow, we got another absolutely fantastic show, but I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend this week. Just Monday right here. Michelle and I are in Texas this week. A couple of weeks, we're going to be back in California. But I tell you, we got this amazing guest coming on the show today, and I'm excited. How you doing today, Michelle?
I am doing great. I'm excited about our guest today, most definitely.
I'm excited about it, man. We're not going to give away the title right now until we lock all the platforms in at the same time. How you doing, Todd, in Southern California?
I'm always good, James. I'm excited for today's show as well. And I don't want to give anything away, but I think this is a different topic. I don't know if you've covered it before on your show.
I think we covered it about 5 years ago, Todd, but this is a topic that needs to be talked about. Let's lock
it in.
All right, let's do it.
It's Your Life is sponsored by James J.C. Cooley.
Listen up. It's Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Yeah.
Hello. Welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Wow. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Michelle and I, we certainly did. We had a friend that flew in from Temecula that came out to hang out with us, and I see him every time. Todd, you know who it is. It's Joshua Goldsmith, my financial advisor. Actually jumped on the plane and came to Texas, hang out with Michelle and I. We had a great time.
Yes, we did.
But hey, Todd, as we were talking about, this is a topic that we haven't talked about in like 5 years on the show. And we got this absolutely fantastic guest that's going to enlighten us. I think everybody, whether you're a homeowner or not, whatever that is, you need to have an understanding that people are out there that are trying to take what you got. And if you lack understanding, can't get the blessing. Just like that's what it isn't about. You have to have the understanding. This guest that we got today is going to share a lot of things. But and my audience is saying, well, what are you talking about, James? Let Michelle go ahead on and do her thing. Michelle, can you just go ahead on and do your thing?
I will go ahead and do my thing. So the title of today's show is Rise and Risk of Title Deed Fraud, Seller Impersonation, and Equity Stealing. So we're having a sit-down conversation with Jim Adams. He's the co-founder and president of EquityProtect. We're going to discuss, the services that EquityProtect provides, FBI cybercrime statistics, the difference between EquityProtect and other home title lock companies, and EquityProtect risk analysis, and so much more. So Jim Adams has 23 years of title and escrow experience, both as an employee and an owner. Throughout his career in title, Jim has held many positions as he's worked his way up, starting with sales and ultimately as the national director of all customer-facing technology for First American Title. He has been the creator of many industry products that are used to this day in the title escrow industry, and he owns a title company based in Nevada. So please welcome to the show, Mr. Jim Adams.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Well, you're lucky. Thank you for coming on the show.
Hey,
Man, that's the most cheers I've ever gotten.
Hey, Jim, how you doing today?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing just fine, but I'm excited about being a homeowner. I'm excited about what we're going to talk about today because I have known many friends and people that I really did not get to know that was caught up in fraud. Many of them was able to clean it up through companies like yours. Others were unfortunate. So I believe that what we're talking about, and for the audience that just tuning in, we're talking about the rise and risk of the title deed fraud, seller impersonations, and equity stealing. That's heavy out in the United States, especially now. And we're going to talk about that, and Jim is going to just break the whole thing down. And if you want to be part of the conversation, whichever platform that you are watching us on or listening to us on, if you're watching us on E36 Television, Transfer TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Twitter, Rumble, and over 60 other platforms, welcome to the show. If you want to be part of the conversation, and you also listen to us on radio, KCBQ AM 1170, and Answer FM 96.1 out of San Diego. My producers in the studio will patch you through, and that number is 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. Be a part of the team. So, Jim, can you tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit more about you, where you grew up, how you decided that this career field that you're doing right now was for you, and what made you click?
Sure. So I'm a Southern boy. I was born in Mobile, Alabama, but at the age of 2, I moved over to New Orleans, Louisiana, where I grew up and spent most of my formative years. Right out of high school, I moved to California and met my wife, or who became my wife, and started a family. I have 4 kids, 8 grandchildren. We just had our 8th last week. So got to meet her last week, which was awesome. I got into title in an odd way. I used to sell data. Back in the day, Experian, who we all know is a credit company, they owned all the real estate data, all the mortgage data, and all that information. So title companies use that to do title searches, create prelims, create commitments when you're purchasing a home. So I actually used to sell to title companies. And somewhere around 2000, I was recruited by one of those title companies to become a sales rep. So I spent my time on the streets selling to real estate agents, to lenders, the title services, and it was mainly with First American Title. During that time, I was successful in that field, and typically in our industry, the best sales guy becomes sales manager. So I then took over managing 5 counties, 22 counties, then 9 states, and then ultimately in my role as the head of customer facing technology. So anything that a buyer, seller, borrower real estate agent, lender, anything that was First American came through my operation during those years. And around 2015, left First American, and I started a company that was giving technology to title companies, and ultimately sold that company in 2018 and purchased a title company in Nevada. So still own that title company in Nevada today. But right around the COVID time, we started seeing an uptick in this deed fraud, and we can get into what that is. But a partner of mine who is probably owns the third largest data company in the U.S., we got together and started looking at the issue and what solutions were out there, and just they weren't elegant solutions. So that's how we came up with the process of EquityProtect.
Wow. So you mentioned title.
Sure.
A lot of people, I mean, even some people that own a home really don't know what that means.
Yeah.
And many that are getting ready to buy a home, and that they listen to us for the first time, they are not clear what that is. Can you explain a little bit more what a title is?
Sure. Yes. And what title insurance is.
Why is it so important to have title insurance?
It is. So when we purchase a home, there is two things that we hear quite often. Oh, we're going to open escrow and we have to get title. So it's pretty much known together as title and escrow. Escrow is the function of putting together the documentations, putting together the requirements from each party. Escrow represents everyone in a transaction: a buyer, a seller, the lender, the real estate agents. They're a neutral third party, if you will, in the transaction. So all escrow company does is take instructions. Most lenders require that the homeowner get title insurance for the lender, which is called a lender's policy, but it is recommended that the homeowner get title insurance as well. And what is title insurance? So title insurance is basically the protection that what you bought is yours. So if you buy your home today and in 6 months, someone comes, knocks on your door and says, hey, this was my property, my brother sold it out from under me, you call your title insurance company. The title insurance will handle all of the legalities behind that. And typically they'll know whether or not that person's, a legitimate, property owner, and there was some fraud that occurred back then. But most title policies protect you backwards. There are some that you might be eligible for that protect you forward. They cost you a little bit more. But if you're asked it, some people say, oh, you don't have to worry about it. Don't get title insurance. Do not listen to them. Buy title insurance. It's very cheap, and it really protects you from anything that could have happened in the past. Maybe there was a mechanic's lien that recorded that was missed. There was, fraud in the selling of the home. There's all sorts of things that can come up against your property that you want to be able to show, hey, I'm the rightful owner of this property.
Okay. Great point. Say a person is buying or selling a house, and a person is buying one like now, and the title company has already contacted them, the seller, the escrow. Is there any insurance in that transaction in selling the house? And we got hold that thought, because we're going to take a station break, because that's how we pay the bills. But I'm gonna come back with that question, and I'll tell you what, whichever platform that you're watching us on, if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to the comments on the platform you're watching us on, ask any questions that you might have, or pick up the phone. Pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
The James Cooley Show. It's your life. That's right.
Using humor, wit, and engaging storytelling, James paints a picture about his arrival in a rural Deep South town and realization that life would never be the same. Cooley lays out his struggle to adjust from city life to country life and back again, sharing his hard-earned lessons to educate, encourage, and enlighten our next generation of leaders and heroes. Get your copy of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James J.C. Cooley, available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold.
The James Cooley Show.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. And I tell you what, I'm sitting back and the topic that we're talking about is so serious. So serious for homeowners or individuals that are about ready to buy a home. Title insurance is so important to have. And because you never know. And they got so many fraudulent things out there where they got all your information. And people can steal your home, your title, and make you move out your own house. And you might have been there 3-4 years or longer. But if you don't have the right protection and you don't understand that this is a different world. And there's so many things that probably need to be talked about. And Jim is going to share all of those things with us. So whichever platform that you're watching us on, whether it's E36 Television, Transfer TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, or whether you're listening to us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, all these other 6-8 live platforms watching this show, want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is pick up the phone and call the radio station. Well, we syndicated radio. Call the radio station, KCBQ, AM 1170 Answer, FM 96.1. My main man, Todd A, is what I call it. We'll put you through. That's my producers back at the KCBQ. And that number is 1-888-344-1170. Again, 1-888-344-1170. Hey, Jim, I was asking you a question as it relates to if you're just closing on a house and the escrow folks and title people, the realtor and financial institutions are all involved in the deal. One of the things that most don't realize is, and I don't even know this myself, when the title companies say, hey, we ready to close, we ready to this, and do they guarantee that the title that you're purchasing, because that's what you're doing, purchasing a title, is first of all clear, probably at the moment. Secondly, how long does that protection last? My point is, when should people start seeking out to folks like you and get the title insurance? I don't know if I make myself clear or not, but
You are. So when we, at a title company, what happens is when an escrow is opened, we then do two things. We do a title search. So we validate that the property owner is the true owner. And then we look for anything. Are there any oddball liens? What's going on the property? We then create one of two things, and it depends on where you are in the country. You're either going to get a prelim, a preliminary title report, or you're going to get a commitment. And what that commitment is we're committing to provide you with title insurance if you do these following things. And there's a list of things that maybe we have to clear. So let's say you had solar, you had bought a solar and they filed the lien on your home. You might have to have that cleared before we can issue title insurance. But obviously the company helps you through all that. That's when we say, hey, if we do certain things, then yes, we'll issue you title insurance. And then again,
Jim, I hate to break up.
Oh, you're fine.
We're gonna get back to that. My question was, when you're closing on a house and the title, the equity, I mean, all of these folks initially, because a person at this time don't know that they need to get title insurance. My question to you is, when you close and you get the title, is any insurance provided at that moment once the transaction is turned over to the buyer?
Correct. So yes, once we go, and again, it's very different state to state. Some states require that we record prior to calling the deal closed and you becoming the owner. In other states, we can say we're closed. Here are your keys, Mr. Cooley, but we don't record for another 2 or 3 weeks. And in that case, there is what's called gap insurance. But when you close on the property, you're going to then have title insurance if you've paid for it. And that'll protect you as the owner.
Hey, Jim. My question is, I know when you close, I'm talking about initially closing, the title company is not going to talk about title insurance. At least I haven't had any at that moment, because they are issuing you the title, the property that you just bought. My question to you is, when they issue you the title, is it just the title company that got a transaction with the closing of the deal, with the financial institution, with everything, with the person that just bought the property? Or my question was, when you leave that table, are there any protections from leaving before they reach out to you guys? That was my question.
Correct. Yes. So a title company, when you close and they say, Mr. Cooley, here's your keys. If you purchase title insurance, that's at the title company, you are protected with title insurance. At that point when you close. But remember that most of those title policies go backwards. So you own the home, you're insured that you own the home, it's your property the day you close.
And the day you close, do you have any insurance at that moment? Because most of the title companies, and I deal with this on a regular basis, the reason I'm asking this question.
Sure.
I know I got viewers out here. When you close at the time, and the title company don't mention to you about title insurance, or you covered for a little bit, or should folks reach out to you and other companies like yours immediately. And even though they haven't been informed, because the title company don't sometimes tell them that because they're worried about the costs.
Yeah. So if you're at an escrow and title company, typically when we close, yes, you are insured. Your title is insured. It's different than what we do. Title insurance and what EquityProtect does are two different things. But as long as you purchased title insurance during your transaction and at close, you will be protected.
Okay. So what's different between your organization,
Okay.
and
So
the title company? Because
yeah.
if a person is already insured, they're going, okay, so Jim, what do you have to offer to me if I'm already insured?
So in the beginning, we talked title insurance protects you from the day you purchase your home going backwards. So nobody in the past can come back to you and say, hey, this was my property. It was sold to you fraudulently. That's what title insurance protects you from. In some cases, some homes qualify and it's an extra cost. It will protect you from things going forward. But there are a lot of stipulations, and a lot of companies don't notify the home buyer that, hey, you have to buy this extra protection. That's where we come into play. We protect you going forward from your title policy. Where title protects you backwards, we protect you forward.
Okay.
So a good example would be you've owned your home for a few years and you bought title insurance and you bought a standard title policy. You're protected from anyone prior to your purchase coming to you and saying, Mr. Cooley, we own your home. However, going forward, if someone were to say, I'm James Cooley, here's my fake ID, and I'd like to list my property. We don't validate IDs. We don't make sure that they're good. That's what we start seeing as seller impersonations. People saying they're Mr. Cooley, they're James Cooley, and they're selling your property without you knowing. There is no protection from title insurance there. That's where EquityProtect comes into play. We protect you as the property owner to make sure that no one sells your property without you being aware of it.
Wow. So that was a gem. That's what I was looking for. It's going forward because I don't want to lose our audience and thinking that I already got it. But going forward is so important because that's happening all the time, Jim. It's happening all the time. And I think we got about a minute before the break. But can you elaborate on that a little bit more? And we'll pick it up and we'll go into this a lot deeper because the audience and our listeners have an understanding of where we're going with this right now.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the going forward part, there are so many different ways that crime is being committed. There are people that will go and let's say you have a fair amount of equity in your home. You've lived in your home a long time. Mm-hmm. They're going and stealing the equity in your home by saying, hey, I'm James Cooley. Or they might record a document against your home. And I can give a story when we come back about Graceland that happened to.
Can you hold that story until we get back? And hey, Jim, me and you on the same sheet of music, but I had to get that point out to our listeners. I'll tell you what. Hey, Todd, I know you're enjoying this because Todd, my producer in California, getting ready to buy 8 houses. You know, I tell you, we're going to take a station break, but I'm enjoying this conversation. It's extremely informative, and I believe that you all need to stay tuned. You want to be part of the conversation? Just pick up the phone, dial 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. KCBQ AM 1170, answer FM 96.1, answer San Diego, or go to the platforms that you're watching us on. Go to the comments, asking the question that you might have. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
Craving a slice of Chicago right here in Temecula wine country? Then dive into legendary Chicago deep dish style pizza at Rosati's Pizza Pub. Piled high with gooey cheese, rich tomato sauce, and your favorite toppings, Rosati's delivers the taste of the Windy City right to your table or front door. Enjoy the cozy pub atmosphere and an impressive selection of Temecula wines. Come on down to Rosati's Pizza Pub for your slice of Chicago right here on Rancho California Road, or order online at myrosatis.com. Rosati's, where Chicago deep dish pizza meets Temecula charm.
Country Boy.
Dr. J.C. Cooley. It's the J. Cooley Show. It's your life.
Hello, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be honored to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Of life circumstance and dare to become an overcomer, because a bigger, better, and more impactful life awaits you. Get the new audio version of his book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by Dr. James Cooley on Amazon or wherever books are sold.
Dr. James J.C. Cooley.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. Right, I'll tell you what. This guest here, Jim Adams, is fantastic, and he's sharing some of the things that I think we all need to know, whether we are homeowners or whether we can really buy a home. And right now we're talking about title. The title show is the rise and risk of title deed fraud, seller impersonation, and equity stealing. And it's been an uptick in the United States related to those areas. And I believe that everyone need to have an understanding of what that is. If you own a house or home and you bought title insurance, that's good that you got title insurance. I'm talking about from the title, but that's if you don't buy the insurance going forward, everything that led up to you buying your home, at least Jim can correct me if I'm wrong, that's where your starting point is. You own the title out front going backwards because everything should have been clean. However, there are activities that are happening where, you got impersonators, you got thieves, you got whatever you want to call it. Moving forward from the time that you own the deed and moving forward, you might not have protection there. That is so important for especially our young folks out there that getting ready to endure on buying a home, older or whoever buying a home or having a home, and understanding these things. So Jim is going to talk about that a little bit more. Hey, Todd, come on, man. You getting ready to buy 8 houses. How you feel about this?
I like the sound of that. I would love 8 houses, but in all seriousness, in my whole life, every time during an inaugural speech, a president always mentioned part of the American dream of owning a house. And, so for a lot of people, that's their number one investment that they'll make in their life. And the fact that, that there's people out there that can steal the house from underneath you, using fraud and get the title from you, that's a scary thought. So I'm glad that there's Jim and EquityProtect out there for people that really can protect their number one financial expense that they'll, in their whole life. So great show. I'm learning a lot here, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the show.
Well, you mentioned that, and I can remember as a young 30-year-old, didn't ever think I would have the means to own a home. And I don't know if I got lucky or whatever that is, but I was able to do it. And at that time, I felt that I had achieved everything I needed to achieve at that point in lifetime, because American dream is owning a home. But what we're talking about today is keeping your home, maintaining your home, having safeguards up to protect your property. So I want to get back to you, Jim, on that. And I think we already talked about title. For as when you purchase, you got insurance up to. But can you explain to our viewers and our listeners why they should be focused on after they buy their home?
Sure. Todd made a great point that most of us, our wealth that we have, our greatest wealth is in our home, the equity in our home. So whether we've been there 3 or 4 years, or we've been there 10, 15 years, or many of us, our parents have been in the same home either since we were a child or a lot of years, they built equity and their wealth is in their home. And that's where we're seeing a lot of the fraud occurring, or in the elderly, as well as those that have maybe been blessed to be able to buy multiple homes. Maybe we've invested and we start having our rental properties. And those are the ones that we're seeing as a target for this type of fraud. And that's where EquityProtect comes in. There's a lot of companies out there that you can sign up and pay a monthly fee and get monitoring. And what they do is they monitor the county recorder's office and they watch for anything to be recorded against the property. And then they notify you. The problem with that is you're down the road a bit. The crime has occurred, the financial crime has occurred, and now you have to unwrap it. So it's going to be a matter of getting attorneys, going through the stress and the difficult times and the cost to recoup that property back and recoup the equity back that was stolen from you. Can you do it? Yes. Most of the time you can unravel that, but it can take a lot of time. It can take a lot of expense and a lot of heartache. And that's what EquityProtect differs. Instead of just monitoring, we actually lock it down to where anything that's trying to happen. So let's say someone's trying to sell your property. The title company has to contact us first and say, we need this document removed. When they do that, we notify the real property owner, say, hey, are you really trying to sell your house? No. We would notify title that the fraud is trying to be attempted. So we stop it before it happens versus monitoring for it. It happens and then, unwinding what had just happened.
So Jim, let's say as far as confirmation from the actual property owner, of course, you contact them verbally. Do you additionally ask for a letter or an email if they have confirmed that they are indeed the property owner and this is what they want to do? Do you do extra steps for confirmation and due diligence?
Correct. So what we do is when they go to sign up a property, we ask them some information that only they'll know about their property to validate their property. That's one. Then the second step is we email or we mail a letter out that has a code on it. That letter goes to the mailing address of the tax records. So our tax bills always come to our mailing address, whether we own one home or we own 50 homes. We have a mailing address that our tax bills go to. That postcard goes to that mailing address, and the property owner has to enter that code into our system to truly validate everything. So we validated by information on their property that only they should know, as well as sent a document to the mailing address of the tax bill for them to go back and enter a code. And at that point, we're able to then start recording the documents that lock down the property for them.
Wow. I thought Michelle was going to stick around for can you tell our viewers and listeners how they can go about pursuing? I mean, because anytime you talk about certain things, or people are like, okay, I want to know right now. What's the steps? What I need to do? What paperwork, etc. that I need to have, because I want to call Jim. And is Jim authorized in all 50 states, or is he authorized?
We are.
In one state?
Yep. We're available in all 50 states. In fact, we have customers in all 50 states. And the process is very simple. If they go to EquityProtect.com, and there is a button on there that says, see if you're at risk or see if you're a victim. If they click on that button, they can enter their property address, and we'll do a risk analysis for them. We'll tell them, hey, you're at low risk. You really don't have much to worry about. But if you'd like, you can sign up for our monitoring, which is totally free. Instead of paying $20 a month to some of our competing products to monitor, we do it for free. So they can sign up for that. They might be at medium risk, and we give them some of the, you can either monitor or get protection. And then we also notify people if they're at high risk. And if you're at high risk, then we walk you through how to get protected. And they can do that either right there on the website, or they're welcome to call our 800 number, and we have people that are there ready to walk them through how to get signed up.
Wow. I mean, it seems like it's easy. And I think our viewers out there, you need to take heed. You need to consider what Jim is talking about. And
it's inexpensive. It's $99 a year. That's what, $8 a month. If we skip a Starbucks coffee, we can protect our home and our equity. And we do a lot of things. We buy $50 alarm systems that are monthly. We get the Ring doorbell. We do all this stuff, but we still lock our door. We don't do that with our home equity. We're not locking it at all. So that's where we come into play.
Wow. I'm glad, but you went ahead of the next segment. But that's a good starting point where we got to take a station break, where we're going to pick up when we get back the costs, whether it's a standard cost, premium cost, whatever cost that is. We're going to talk about all those things and your recommendation to our guests and our viewers on when to start that and who they need to contact in case they have issues or concerns. I tell you what, we're going to take a station break and join this. Just like Todd mentioned to our viewers and our listeners earlier, this is something new that we are doing. It's been about 5 years ago. That's why I asked you, Jim, was you on the show? 5 years ago since we had this topic talk. But that if you're going to be part of the conversation, all you do, go to the platform that you listen to and ask any questions or comments. And comments, or pick up the phone and call Todd at 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life. And we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
South town and realization that life would never be the same. Cooley lays out his struggle to adjust from city life to country life and back again, sharing his hard-earned lessons to educate, encourage, and enlighten our next generation of leaders and heroes. Get your copy of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James J.C. Cooley, available on Amazon and everywhere books are sold.
Craving a slice of Chicago right here in Temecula wine country? Then dive into legendary Chicago deep dish style pizza at Rosati's Pizza Pub. Piled high with gooey cheese, rich tomato sauce, and your favorite toppings, Rosati's delivers the taste of the Windy City right to your table or front door. Enjoy the cozy pub atmosphere and an impressive selection of Temecula wines. Come on down to Rosati's Pizza Pub for your slice of Chicago right here on Rancho California Road, or order online at myrosatis.com. Rosati's, where Chicago deep dish pizza meets Temecula charm.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you a lot of information that Jim Adams is putting forth. I think it's so important. I think we need to take heed, but I think we need to lock in. So before we get back to Jim, I want to do a quick info. I wouldn't say a commercial, but the James Cooley Show is your life. Been on the air with Salem Media for the last 6 years. We still there. 5 days a week, syndicated, all that. And we also been on the air with a lot of E36 television, transfer TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and over 68 live platforms, iHeartRadio Live, Spotify, all that. What I'm saying is we're in need for sponsors right now, so we can continue to bring you great shows like this. And if you, I see we got a lot of folks that are watching the show always. We need sponsors to continue to bring you this great service. And for sponsorship, let me tell you, sponsorship, your product will be on our show. We'll promote it any way we can. We also will. You get an opportunity to come on the show to talk about your product. We'll do a tailored commercial, free of charge from you. Well, it's not free, but that we would do in order to promote your product on our shows. And we'll probably give you like 24 views of that 24 shows where we got that. So if you want to be a sponsor, all you have to do is reach out to me. You can reach out to me at 817-729-6272. You can go to my email, jamescooley145@gmail.com. They say, well, James, you can't be reached. I can be reached. We need sponsors. We need guests like we have. So if you want to be a guest on the show, you also want to be a sponsor, reach out to me, 817-729-6272. Michelle, you got anything you want to say?
I'm on mute. Okay. No, we want to give you a show that not only inspires people, but motivates and educates the audience. So, audience, we are here for you. We're asking for your assistance. And I guess that's all I have to say.
We need sponsors. We need sponsors. So if you want to be a part of our great platform, reach out. Hey, Jim, I want to get back to you because we got the better part of 5 minutes to go. And I want you to pick up where we left out and let our viewers know exactly the pricing range of, I think you mentioned $99. Is that standard? Is that top notch? Is that this? And what other things that they can get from your company, and how they can just purchase from you right now? You have a discount? You got anything to help them out, because you're on the James Cooley Show right now?
Yeah. So right before the break, we were talking about we do the risk analysis for free. So they can enter their property address. We'll give them a risk analysis. Again, if they're at low to medium low, somewhere in there, we don't recommend getting protection. It's just money not needed to be spent. And we'll monitor the property. They can sign up for our free property monitoring. And what we do is anytime that, we see something happen on the title, or maybe there's an oddball lien that pops up, we'll notify them, or we'll notify, hey, everything looks good, everything's remaining the same. And they get those emails once a quarter. If you feel you need protection, if you fall in that medium to medium high and high range, we offer the protection. There's a one-time sign-up fee. It's what that does is allows us to go through all the title search, get everything done for it. And there's some recording fees in there, and it runs about $279 for the first year. And then it's $99 a year after that. And so there's no real levels or plans. Protection is protection. However, I did do a promo code for you. We have Cooley 30. And if so, any of your listeners go there and they want to sign up and they do the process, just put in that promo code Cooley 30 and they'll save 30% off of the subscription for as long as they have the subscription.
Wow, I like that. And let's tell them one more time, Jim, the code, this, because I think we're going to have people that are interested in doing this.
Again, what they want to do is go to EquityProtect.com. Do that risk analysis, find out what their risk level is, and then if they're in need of that protection, sign up and use the promo code Cooley30, and they'll get that 30% off. But if you're at low risk, sign up for our free monitoring. Just take advantage of it. It's free and it's good for you to know, because we do occasionally have liens that pop up on our properties that aren't us. Whether it's an IRS lien or a child support lien or these lien, we see them all the time. They might have the right name, James Adams, but they have the wrong middle initial, but they still went to my property. So it's always good to know that and get it cleared before you're into escrow. And now all of a sudden you've got a 30-day delay because you're trying to get that cleared up. So it's free of charge. Might as well take advantage of it.
I like it. I mean, I like what you're offering. I like how you stated this. And hey, Jim, been an absolutely remarkable guest. 30 seconds or less. Do you have any takeaways? 30 seconds, because they're getting ready to cut you.
I do. Make sure you look at your parents' home, because our parents are the ones that have a lot of equity. It's a great gift for them. We've got the holidays coming up, but help protect our parents and the work that they put into gaining their equity as well.
Wow. Hey, Jim, I want to thank you for taking the time to come on the show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You was absolutely remarkable. I'd like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another fantastic show. I'd like to thank my producers back in KCBQ AM 1170 Answer FM 96.1 and La Jolla, San Diego studio. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning into the James Cooley Show, Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, live, and also the Best of the James Cooley Show, Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, KCBQ AM 1170 The Answer. I tell you what, always, always, always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We need sponsors. 817-729-6272, James Cooley, 145 at Gmail. Reach out to me. Come and be part of the show.